All right, so part one we talked about in terms of parenting and fatherhood, how leadership is so important. And in part two, we discussed how in being faithful, right? Faithfulness. You have to have a relationship with God. You have to be the leader for your family, to bring holiness, to bring God into your family. And the more that you do that, the more grace that you bring in, the more evil, right, that you're going to push out. So in this part three, this is the last part of this Saturday sessions, the theme being fatherhood. We're going to talk, and I just want to stress how important it is to model what we want our children to do. If we cannot be the servant leader that they see how we are as the example, and if we are not bringing faith and living our faith for them to look at, again, as an example, to ask questions of how to learn, then we're not modeling the type of person that we want them to become. The behavior that we have as fathers, the children look to us. They look to see how we are. I said that in part two, right? Are we grumpy all the time? Are we angry? Are we coming back? Are we secretive? Or are we happy? Do we laugh? Do we involve them? Our kids? Do we pray before dinner? Are we present? I forgot to say that during part two. Are we even present? Do we participate in dinner together? Do you have family dinners? If not, men, I strongly urge you, please make it a priority. And guess what? It doesn't mean you've got to have your wife in the kitchen or you making like some big fancy meal and everybody's sitting around the table. Of course, like I think at Thanksgiving. No, that would be awesome, but you don't have to do that. Yes, grab some fast food. You see, eating together as a family, that is what's going to be remembered. That's the importance. You're doing something together as a family. With your kids. You are being present. Okay? You're modeling your behavior. Now, a lot of us, we don't have the time. We're working lots of hours, perhaps maybe 2 jobs. And there's a lot of stress. I get it. I understand. I myself, I have a lot of things to do. So it's not that I'm trying to create some fantasy land for you, or I'm from a perspective of unreality. I understand. There's anxiety, there's stress, there's a lot of work. You come back, and you know what? Probably the only thing you really want to do when you come from work is to relax in front of the television, or to binge something that's not been on Netflix, or have that beer and just be left alone. But what does that show, or what has that shown? Your family so far. The dad is not present. Dad is not available. Dad is not happy. Be the better dad, be the better father than you planned. I know that doesn't make maybe a lot of sense, but just think about that from a philosophical perspective. Write that down. Be the better dad than you plan. And it's connected to the first 2 parts. If you truly are a servant to your family, and you're placing all of your trust in God, then you know that when you get back and when you're tired, it's actually the family that's going to be what's going to give you that energy. It's not the beer, and it's not going to be that Netflix game, show or the game that's on. It's your family. It's your kids. And I know that some of you probably are hearing this right now, and you are not in disbelief, but you disagree. And that's okay. But I'm going to give you a challenge. For 7 days, 7 days, it's a 7-day challenge. Do the opposite of what you want to do. So you get home and you want to have a beer. Instead, communicate with your wife. You want to get home, and one way to relieve that stress is to go to OnlyFans or scroll one of the porn sites. Try very hard to do the opposite of that. Instead, don't go on social media. Don't go on the internet at all. You come home and you're tired, and the only thing you really want to do is relax in front of the television. Instead, spend 10 minutes and engage in a conversation with your kids. And it depends on their ages, I understand, but try to find some commonality, something that you can connect on. That's your challenge. Do that for 7 days. See how your life has slightly been changed. Maybe it's been totally transformed just in those 7 days. But see what happens. How you feel at the end of it. How your kids are going to be acting and behaving at the end of that. How your spouse is going to be. I bet, because I know, so I can say this with assurance, but I bet your life, your family life, how you feel, it's going to be totally transformative. Because you're modeling something different. You're modeling that you are available. You're the leader, a leader who cares, a leader who shows an interest in the family, in the spouse, in the relationship that you have with your children. Again, fatherhood, being a father. And the praying before meals or the praying before bed, see how that's going to change and kind of transform how you feel and how you act and how you behave. And then that kind of like a cascading effect, how that is affecting your family. I know it's going to be really good. It's going to be the best that you have ever experienced. And that's part of this being faithful. Again, shelter on the embrace of God, trust in God, and He's going to give you a lot of graces. He's going to give you a lot of gifts. Will this require you to be vulnerable? Yes. Will it be easy? No. Because you're going to be doing the opposite of what you want. But the benefit to all of this in the long run is a lot. So brothers, that's a 7-day challenge I'm leaving you with right now. And in this Saturday, I wish you and your family, I wish you and the relationship that you have with your children, one that is full of blessings. They deserve you. You deserve them. And remember that your tomorrow starts today.